Hi, it's Chris and Susan here. Now, we are a little later than our usual live at 5, and that's because today I've had the pleasure of going to the hospital, having my eyes checked out. You know, when you get a bit older, some of the bits don't work quite as well as they should do. But the good news is that it's really absolutely okay, and it was a bit of a false alarm, but it's always good to get it checked out. But you know, we sat there in the waiting room. We were probably, weren't we, the youngest people there. There were people in their 80s, 90s.
One guy there, 93,
Yeah,
having injections in his eyes.
Yeah,
Whoa.
oh no, but it was just funny. We were sitting there, there was a notice board right opposite us, and it just, I mean, it had other things around it, but I posted it on Facebook because I think it's really, really funny, and it just says, when we replace your eye, it will be with a plastic one. And it's just made us think how often we look at things and take them out of context, and how funny it is if we do that. I mean, seriously, it's not funny, but at the time, just looking at it, it made us chuckle, and everybody else around us, they were going, "What are you laughing at?" And we just explained, and they sort of got it, and they thought it was really fun. But
I'll tell you what, there's some amazing people in that room. I mean, you sit there and just talk to people because, you know, as usual, the clinic was running late. So you sit there and talk to people, and the stories that they tell you, the things they do. I mean, there's a 93-year-old guy. He said, "Oh, I was in the RAF. I was flying planes in Burma." And you think, wow, in the Second World War. And you think, wow, you know, the stories he must be able to sit and tell if you just sat down and had a chat to him. But it's amazing people, really funny stuff, and you know, people just sort of get together as a community and share things and that. And it was quite good fun actually, even though we were there for 2 hours.
Very interesting day, and of course you always get the chance to do catching up on your reading. And for those who've been following us on Facebook, you know that I'm currently have ordered, and I am reading The Blue Ocean. Now I'll put the link to that after this live has gone through. And I ended up getting this because I ordered, on behalf of both of us and our business, the Expert Secrets free chapters to the book, which has now been released as of last night. And you know, just in those free chapters, it was incredible the knowledge that we picked up, the little things that will make a big difference to our business. And I'm going to explain some of those to you in just a minute. We've always been passionate about storytelling. We've always been passionate about knowing our market, haven't we?
Shooting videos as well.
Yeah, shooting videos. And all of these are things we believe are really important if you want to take your business to the heights that you want and be more than just mediocre in whatever it is that you do.
It'll be the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
Fighting for the same market, fighting for the same people. And I'm sure you've seen it. It doesn't matter what program people promote, what network marketing business, what MLM business, online, offline. It doesn't really matter. But I'm sure you've seen it. You know, you get onto Facebook, you get onto any other social media, and you just see all these links spammed everywhere. Or nowadays you see it in Messenger as well, or you see it in WhatsApp. You know, buy my stuff, this is the best thing, this is the best thing since sliced bread, this is a ground floor opportunity, let me get you placed before it launches in the UK. You know, you've heard all these things. And if you think about that, if you just sort of say, hang on a minute, what are these people doing? And you put it into context, all they're doing is they're saying, I've got a link and I'm just going to push it out there as fast as I can, as far as I can, for free, because they don't know anything else, and I'm going to see what happens. Well, the truth of the matter is that what happens for 99.9%, and I have to say, you know, we were like this when we first got started in our consultancy business. You know, everybody would want our consultancy. We're business consultants at the end of the day. Every business will need our skills. But of course, it's rubbish. because business consultant, what's a business consultant? Well, it's somebody who knows something about business. But business is it's a huge subject. And therefore, did we get business? No. It wasn't until we sort of niched it down a bit and we ended up working in the veterinary profession that our consultancy business became successful. So I just want you to think about this in terms of where people are, as we say, spamming their links everywhere. Think about that. Who are they actually talking to? And why should that person be interested in whatever it is? It doesn't matter what products they're selling or what they're offering, what services they're offering. It really doesn't matter. But why would the person who they're spamming their link to be interested? And the answer is they're probably not.
I think you've got a really good point there, and I'm glad you told the story about our management consultancy, because actually I was going to explain that, but I think it totally places this whole online thing into perspective, because once you know who your perfect customer is and the market in which you want to work, it's a whole lot easier. Now, since we've had the pleasure, I'm going to say, because it is a pleasure, of speaking and training all around the world, we just bring this message constantly to home in the hope that it will fall on the right ears at the right time for the right person, because we can tell you, since we started doing that, it really and truly has made all the difference. So when we first came online, nearly 7 years ago now, when we look back on it.
Oh wow, scary.
It is scary. We just thought, right, we know about online business education. We'd already knew that's where we wanted to place ourselves, because it fitted with us, our background, our age, and who we wanted to talk to. We wanted to talk to other people like us, but we still only did what everybody else did, and we just tried to push that out to anybody who had their eyes open and their ears open and were prepared to take a look. Eventually we started to see a pattern emerging, because we're pretty good at looking at our statistics and stuff, aren't we? I think it's an accountant's thing, quite honestly. And we started to see a pattern. The people that were looking at what we were offering, and you know, we've come quite a way along that journey now, were of a certain age, they came from a certain background, and guess what? They were pretty much like us, weren't they?
I mean, you think about it, I mean, most of our customers, I'm not going to say all, but most of them are, let's say 50 plus, certainly 45 plus. And they have some sort of professional or skilled background, whether that be corporate management or whether it be a self-employed accountant, consultant or lawyer or dentist or whatever, or whether it be somebody with more hands-on skills, because at the end of the day they're all skills and they're all professions. And that's the type of people that come and work with us. Why? Because they all we can talk to them is the first thing. They can relate to us, our story. They can relate to our hardships. They can relate to the good bits. They can relate to things that we do. You know, we like cats. We got 5 kids and all that sort of stuff. We love skiing. You know, we love zip lining now. That's good fun.
We now like little French bulldogs as well, thanks to our daughter.
You know, the thing is people relate to you in some way, shape or form. I don't actually think we've got many golfers, and that's probably because I don't play golf or Susan doesn't play golf, but there we are. So I'm just trying to give you some sort of idea of why people relate to you. And therefore your market is going to be very similar to you, or it's where you're going to start out, and then over a period of time you will refine it. You will refine it. And that's the real key to this, because if you don't refine who you're talking to, then what happens is it goes back to where we were at the beginning with people spamming their links everywhere. You're just competing with all the other people spamming their links. And you don't know whether the person who's looking is going to be interested in your link or somebody else's link or somebody else's link. You have to be different. You have to stand out in a specific area, and that's what Susan's going to tell you about in just a second, because that's what came out of this book, I think, isn't it?
It is.
Well,
Well,
the three
it's what
chapters.
came out of the 3 chapters of Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets. And obviously, if you haven't got hold of the book yet, we highly recommend you do. I got an email from Russell just about an hour ago. I think they've sold nearly 7,000 copies of the book already. And when we last heard on a private webinar with him and the team, I think they only had 10,000 copies. And they are the ones that are going to go out free. And we'll tell you how you can get yours at the end of this live. We'll just put it in there for you, and we will, because it's really important. Those people who are interested in getting it from us, and it doesn't matter, you can get it from us or you can get it from someone else. It really doesn't matter. But we will have a bonus training for you. You know how much we love our trainings, but we did a private training in Costa Rica just last month in March. Which due to be completed and ready. We're hoping about the middle of May.
Second week in May, it's supposed to be.
And you will get that if you let us know that you've got your copy from us. And I think you'll find that really valuable as well, because you'll be able to go through exactly what we taught, and how you'll find that will benefit you in your business.
And it relates to this.
Definitely relates to this, because, you know, we do love our storytelling. And I have to say, the social media platforms that are out there for you to use, from Facebook through to Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, it doesn't matter what it is, you have to remember they are social platforms. People go on those platforms to chill out, relax, look at... Socialise, look at the best cat videos, dog videos. We know that because our daughter's been telling us how many people have looked at the video of her and Jeffrey when she takes him out for a walk. Sorry, I should say Jeff. We call him Jeffrey just for fun, wind her up. But the point is, they go there for a specific purpose. They don't go onto social media to be sold to. So you have to find a way to connect with those people. And I can tell you that making your marketing messages on social media story bound is the best way to do it. So shall I tell you a little bit more about this blue ocean?
Sounds good to me.
I think so.
You move over here so they can see the board.
Okay, so hopefully you can see the board behind me. So basically what we found out just through those 3 chapters, and why we went ahead and got the book, because we just like that, and I like to get deep into things and find out a little bit more. The reason that the blue ocean strategy is so important to you, it's what Chris and I have been talking about prior to me doing this little demo here, is that this is where you need to be talking in a unique way to your very own unique tribe or audience. So what happens when you start an online business, for example? You get into it for whatever reason. Now, you know there's a market. So your core market, if you have an online business, is the wealth creation and prosperity market. And there are lots of sub-markets of that, of which online business is one. Others might be property, it might be health and wellness. There are many, many different ones, but you need to not be working up here in your core market. You need not to be working here in your sub-market, because still there's a lot of people here. You want to be creating for yourself a niche market where you become the authority figure and the expert. So for us, it's online entrepreneurship, and broken down within that, it's the 50 plus market, the people who are in or approaching retirement. Can it be scary to be working in that market and think, I'm shutting myself out from everything else? Yes, it can be. but it can also be quite beneficial, because as people that you are attracting in this 50 plus online entrepreneurship offer, you are also able to reach people on what we call the periphery of that niche, people who are still looking for an online business, looking to become an online entrepreneur. So you will attract some of those, so don't worry about it. And this market here, this niche market, is what we call, and what Russell Brunson calls, and the authors of the book The Blue Ocean Strategy call, your blue ocean. And it's called a blue ocean for a very specific reason, because it's fresh, it's new, and there's nobody else in there to what we call muddy the waters. And the authors of the book and Russell go through and explain it in rather a graphic detail, if you like, that if you're trying to work up here in the sub-market, or even worse in the core market, that's what they describe as being a red ocean. And it's red for a good reason, because there's a heck of a lot of sharks in there, all looking for the next feed. So you can imagine pictorially, story related, what that could look like. Would you want to be one of those people in those waters? I'm sure you wouldn't. And I really hope that by explaining it in this way, you can see it. And I think it was beautifully done in those chapters. And I have to say, I cannot wait to get the whole book. And it should be with us in just a few days, because we were there ready and waiting to get our copy when it was released last night. You know, when you're running a business, you have to be observant of the things that are going on around you, things that are going to help you build a better and more successful business. And if you see something that somebody else is talking about, yes, they might be an affiliate of that business, just as we're an affiliate of ClickFunnels and obviously the book, .com Secrets. We're affiliates of that. We're affiliate marketers. Yes, we work in this blue ocean down here, but many people who are friends with us and have known us for a long time up here will also buy from us because they trust us and our recommendations. They might not be wanting to work with us in our primary core business, but they do recognize us for the value of the tools and resources that we talk about, because we use them ourselves. So I hope that this has really got into your mind here, how important this is when you build your business. And when you bring your personal story into this, this is where you really cement your authority in the niche that you've chosen, your blue ocean. So I want you to start thinking now about your business and how you can totally create that blue ocean of your own. Because there would be nothing give us greater pleasure than you coming back to us and saying, I've seen this live, I've got my copy of the book. Maybe you've even gone and bought Blue Ocean Strategy, which I know some of you have because you've written and told us about it, and found it has been successful for you. That is your story, and we want to share that story because it proves how important it is. What do you think?
Well, I think that's pretty good.
You think I explained it okay?
I think you explained it extremely well, considering you've read the book, which was absolutely amazing.
The thing
and
is,
you've summarised it down,
yeah,
which is really good.
But the thing is, guys, we couldn't answer all of your comments and your questions in the stream, which I'll go and do now as once we finish this, because after all, it is our favourite time, because it is cocktails time, and
is it? Oh yeah,
yeah,
okay.
so, yeah.
Cocktails with Chris and Susan. We used to do that.
Yeah.
Cheers,
guys. No, importantly, we will go through and answer that. I will give you the link to go and get your copy of Expert Secrets if you haven't already, and we will ask you, if you do that through our link, if you send us an email with your receipt, we'll make sure that you get that training as soon as it's released, because we like to reward action takers. We like to reward our personal tribe, those who have been following what it is that we do and how we've helped them. Many people we don't work with one-on-one, but we do work with through mentoring, we do work with
through group
through
training,
group
all
trainings,
sorts of things.
all kinds of things.
In fact, on Friday afternoon, we're going to be teaching about 100 people, I think, in a room about storytelling, target marketing, how you find your niche, all that sort of thing. Because it's really, really crucial that you understand this and understand the strategies and the structures behind it. Because, in a 20-minute live video, you can only cover the basics. You can't cover the detail, which is why you need to get the book, because the detail is in the book.
Yeah, and we will be doing some more trainings on it, and I expect we'll probably do a webinar on it as well, because it is so important. I guess to summarise up tonight, I'm going to use Russell's words because I think they say it perfectly, is find your message, build a tribe, and change the world. What could be better than that? So do tell us what your message is and how you want to change the world. And we look forward to seeing your stories.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you on another live.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.